Welcome back to the Twisted Worlds. We are continuing on with Talis' adventure. We're getting close to the end of the second length of her journey, and we're still in that awkward phase where we're trying to move things along, but trying to keep pace. But yeah, fortunately, next week it won't be that. So let's get to it. But before we do, the roll of the dice is chaotic, but none more so than the algorithm. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. Hey, leave a comment. Tell me, how's your day going? Any little bit helps. Let's get to it. Come morning, a rush is heard through the city. In the throne room, the minister and knight leader explain to the queen that a force is gathering by the southern forest. With a fury, the queen orders her troops to prepare for battle and to move in the weak. As this is occurring, Talis lurks in the shadows, organizing with the troops the needed support to defeat Rorkhan. So, pretty much what we're doing is supporting them. Okay. A couple of guards approach Talis. We're your personal escort, ma'am. What do you need to support to help us? Talis ponders. Is there an alchemist's shop or an herbalist? Anything we can find, say, brew strong enough poisons. The men look at each other. Poisons? Deadly enough to the normal races, but if we make them strong enough, they could be able to stun or possibly debilitate a giant demon. Exactly. I'm thinking of cutting the ballistic bolts just in case. So, do we have anything like that? Yes, we do, ma'am. We'll lead you right away. Talis is led through the city. Completely at ease with the guards at her side. They go into the herbalist. What can I do for you, gentlemen and ma'am? The old man says, we're here to requisition some ingredients, sir. Of course. What do you need from me? He says with a disgruntled thought. He's used to requisitions from the Queen, but they are always a drain on his business. Talis says, Talis lists a sounds off a list of ingredients. As she goes through the list, the herbalist's eyes widen in shock more and more as she continues. Miss, those things are... I know exactly what they are. But what purpose would... Talis interjects and says, there's a chance something very, very dangerous will happen. We need a way. This is just a deterrent for it. We're hoping not to need to use it. The man looks to the guards. They nod to him. Unfortunately, I don't have everything you'd need for it. I carry some of the reagents here, since they're used in medicine. Some of them are used in medicines. The others make good repellents for well, small rats and pests. Is there any way you can get the rest of the reagents? Yeah, I know a few herbalists and a few foragers in the city. They collect this stuff often. Mainly since they're good for repellents, as I said before. They're good for dealing with pests. You can easily get what you need. That's good. Just tell me, why these poisonous substances? Talis looks at the man. If all goes well, we won't be needing it. But if it doesn't, something terrifyingly dangerous will appear. We need a way to at least slow it down. Plus that. The man nods. Alright. I'll convince my associates to help us out. Hopefully there won't be a need to use stuff like this. But you're right. If something does happen and it's needed and we don't have it, it will just cost lives. She nods and thank you. I can have it to you by the end of the day, at the latest. Good. Talis walks out with a contingency of men. As she does, she notices something. A strange figure in the alleyway, looking right at them, with a notepad and quill. Talis tells the man that she needs to go further down the street. They nod and walk her and escort her. As she does, she lightly whispers to them, "We're being followed." Upon hearing this, the guards side-eye each other. They understand what she meant. They quickly follow down the road and take a left into an alleyway. As they do, a lightly stepped figure slowly turns the corner. As they do, he sees that no one's there. They walk more into the alleyway. Nothing is. It's as if they disappeared. As they're looking around, a dagger appears at the person's throat. They shudder a bit, but stand still, calm. I don't need to guess who you are, do I? Talis says. The guards show up. How's this man's disposition? The man says shakingly, I'm just doing what the Queen ordered. See if there's anyone suspicious in town and report their movements. Talis looks to the man. Give me that. Give me your notes. She looks them over. They're well detailed. As Talis is looking through this, she goes to the men. Do any of you have spare parchment like this? They look to each other and handed her some parchment paper. Talis looks carefully at the note. Then she starts writing on the blank page. After a minute or two, she goes, "A day's end, give this to the Queen." Both the guards and the man look at the note. It details that some of the men have taken an initiative to prepare viable poisons in case of a long skirmish should occur, and they need to debilitate their enemies. It makes no mention, however, of Talis herself. It is close to the truth, but not the entire truth. As Talis, as they look at this, they look at Talis and at the note left that she looked at. The handwriting, the wording, everything was an exact copy. You're a scary individual, ma'am. The Queen's as scary, I believe. Alright. Are we done here, ma'am? Talis asks, are you the only one keeping watch? I don't know, ma'am. Talis looks at them. Alright. Go do this. Alright, we're going to continue walking around. You're going to keep following us. But you're going to pretend to be taking notes. The Queen's spying on us to make sure we actually... We gotta keep it up. This note, it wouldn't make any mention of you. It would be inconsistent. What do we do then? Talis thinks. Warn the guards. If anyone comes in at the end of the day looking like a messenger for the Queen, send them to a different location. Have them interrogated, if need be. Alright, ma'am. Come the day's end, Talis waits in a room. In comes some guards, and 4 people she has never seen before. And the spy from before. These are all the people that are come asking to send a message to the Queen. To relay a message to the Queen. They all had notes, just like the first guy. Talis looks over them. All of them are scared. Alright. Hand me their notes. As I do, Talis readies some parchment. A few minutes pass. One by one, Talis creates accurate copies of the notes, omitting the details of herself in them. If the Queen asks why you are late, just say you had some issues with some of the guards. She hands them the fakes. The fake notes. Burning the real ones. What we're doing, we're trying to do for the best of everyone here. The Queen will get us all killed otherwise. All the spies look to each other. They nod. Sorry, ma'am, for the trouble we've caused. It's alright. Although you guys are going to make it difficult to move about the city, though. What do we do, ma'am? Talis thinks through this. And she comes to a thought. There's a tavern that no one visits due to the curfews, correct? Yeah, the owner's been long gone. It's basically abandoned. I'll move there. I'll move over to there. Ma'am? By doing this, I can mix up the ingredients we're getting from the herbalists and the alchemists with ease. And I can coordinate with the rest of you. A central hub. A command center. Pretty much. Sounds like a good plan. Alright. We'll send these guys on their way. We'll let our leaders know. We will let the leaders know. Hard to talk sometimes. Alright. The next day comes. Talis is wearing some really thick gloves and a mask over her face. She has a giant cauldron with fire wood prepared underneath it. The abandoned tavern has a nearly empty floor, perfect for a large alchemy. The old herbalist comes in. Him and his associates have brought large sacks with all the ingredients she asked for. They all look to her. They all wonder what she's going to make. The old man asks, I understand what you're making is something very, very dangerous. But in all my years, I don't understand a single recipe that would require all this. Talis opens up a small pouch on her belt, pulls out a paper on it. The paper contains a full list and instruction for a recipe for a powerful poison. As the old man looks it over, but by all that it's holy, is this? He looks to Talis. This, it should be a myth. It shouldn't be real. It's just a legend. An old wives' tale amongst alchemists. It was that way. It was that way because the organization I was part of made full use of it. To make sure it seemed like that. That explains it. You're an assassin. This is... As the old man was thinking of chastising her, he then realized something. If you're making something this strong, with in this mass quantity, then the thing that will show, and the thing you're being prepared for, it could kill everyone in the kingdom counted. If it happens, it can, and it will. So we need to stop it, no matter what. The old man looks to his colleagues, who are frightened, but then they realize if Talis is going this far, there has to be good reason. They nod. Is there anything we can do to help? Talis looks at them a little surprised, but they all nod in agreement. More hands would be better for this, yes. Get prepped. This is a volatile poison. One drop on the skin could be deadly. However, this is a special application. However, what we're making is a special application of this poison. A type of coating from metal. A coating? Poison coating. This quantity. Once we finish brewing all this, we'll take them to... Some guards will show up to take it. Escort them and make sure and make sure it is applied to what needs to be applied carefully. They look to each other, thinking that with the quantity she has in mind for all this, it's going to be big. So they all get ready to brew. Four days go by. Almost non-stop brewing of the poison. Distilling it. Concentrating it. And carefully storing it for transport. They have created one of the most deadliest poisons ever to exist in the world. Something that could potentially eradicate an entire civilization. Should slow down a giant demon, shouldn't it? As they finish, guards show up to take the poison. Talis then instructs all of them. Coat it on the metal of the weapons. One thin layer should do it. It is brewed in a way that makes it stick to metal. Wear thick leather gloves when handling it. If you get any on your skin, you'll be considered dead. They move. The alchemists move out with the guards. Five days have passed, with almost no rest. She looks at a couple of her escorts and guards. I'm gonna need a rest now. Only disturb me if it's an emergency. They nod. She finds a comfortable spot and rests her eyes. As she awakens, Talis notices a flickering light in the distance. She looks and sees what's going on. A small force is coming. The queen at the head. Talis looks. It appears she's been caught. She quietly moves her along the back. As she does, she notices there are guards. There are some armed men at the back entrance. Talis quietly moves up the stairs to the top floor. Oof. Okay. Oh. I say oof, but that's actually not too bad. She quietly makes her way up the stairs with no creaking whatsoever. Makes her way to the top floor. She quietly looks out the window. A few guards on the outside. A few armed men on the outside. Talis quietly unlatches the window. As she does, she quietly opens it up. The window is old, and it creaks as it opens. But luckily, the men don't see it, don't hear it. Talis then goes to move. She climbs up. She climbs up onto the roof of the building. And quietly shuts the window behind her. She quietly moves along the rooftop. Moving along, she lightly jumps across the roof to another rooftop. She does it with perfect ease and perfect quiet. She moves a fair distance away, then gets in position to see the queen. Her men charge into the tavern. They search it from top to bottom. No trace of her. As they report to the queen, she says in fury, and drags out, and one of her men drags out a person. It's one of the alchemists who helped her brew the poison. You said there was a traitor here. You said this is where they were hiding. You said that they were convorting with my guards and all the city's alchemists and herbalists. She should have been there. She was brewing for 4 days. Everything should be... She should still be there. That doesn't make sense. Then you're as incompetent as you are foolish. The queen draws her massive sword and slices the man in half. Find this person. Find her now! The queen screams. Talis looks around and sees one of her allies in a far off building. She makes her way along the rooftops. Lightly taps on his window. He notices and opens it up, letting her in. What's going on? One of the alchemists just betrayed us. Damn it. How much does the queen know? I don't know, but we gotta move. Quickly. The ballistae, they're all perfect. They're all ready. The Elstone is ready. We got word from the natural forces that they're there as well. That they're waiting. They set up some illusions to make it look like an army's actually there. Reinforce the fact that there's a force gathering. Make sure the queen. So now the queen's thinking she's fighting on 2 different fronts. She won't connect the 2 events together. That's good. But the queen's going to be looking for me now. Alright. We'll get you out of the city as quickly as possible. Get you to the forest as quick. Alright. Day after tomorrow, we end this. Talis is escorted to the city gates. Luckily, all their allies are the ones taking her, not a single sight of the queen or any of her men. She heads out of the city gates in a rush, makes her way to the forest. As she approaches, the natural forces give way to her. Is everything prepared in the city? Should be. Queen's suspicious, though. Alright, rest for the day. Alright, rest as much as you can. Day after tomorrow is gonna be hell. Talis goes. She sits down. She rests her eyes. She eats her fill, and the day passes. She's fully rested as can be. As she stands at the clearing. Just at the edge of the forest. Her sharp ears pick up the sounds of marching hooves, the clinking of metal, the rolling of catapults and trebuchets. The queen is arriving with her army. And now, Talis must face the queen and stop this madness. And if need be, stop Rorkhan. And that is where we'll end it today. Next week, the big battle. I'll see you all next time on the Twisted Worlds.